What's up? What's up, everybody? Armchair Quarterbacks here for another Week 11 preview. On this one, we have 1, 2 third rounders plus Rams versus Mount Takia. That's Johnson versus Shawn here. Really quick, taking a look at current projections Wednesday night. Johnson's projected for 89 points over Shawn with 87.67 points. So let's take a look at their starting rosters here. Really quick going over Johnson's: Trevor Lawrence, Garrett Wilson, DeAndre Hopkins, ETN, Mostert, and Njoku, Godwin, Tank Dell. I'm really glad Johnson took my advice here. When we were talking about our trade, I had mentioned to him he should drop Everett, and I told him, I gave him a couple options for a tight end pickup, and he ended up going with Njoku. We were talking about Njoku, or the Cleveland quarterback situation, when we were going over mine and Ken's preview. How do you feel Njoku is going to fare with DTR?
With that scrub, probably not good. I think his bigger concern right now, especially now that you guys made that trade, is he has basically the entire offense for Seattle. You might as well get Geno Smith too. So he's gonna have to make some sort of move here, whether it's to move Lockett. I guess JSN could stay as kind of a flyer, but he's gonna have to look to move some of this, because this is gonna eat into his ceiling here.
Yeah. No, when we were making that trade, I noticed that as well. And to be honest, I was trying to I tried to get either Lockett or JSN, so that way he wouldn't have that issue, that situation. But he wasn't biting on it, so just kind of left it. But he was down to take on Walker. So I mean, if that's what he wants, that's all good to me,
So another one here is Trevor Lawrence. Drop that. I'd be looking somewhere else.
Well, he's got Justin Fields. I'm not sure I would start him quite yet in week 1, coming back from the thumb injury. I mean, the good thing is, he's gotten in a full practice today. So it looks like he should be good to go for this week. But I don't know how comfortable you feel starting him week 1 after the injury.
Trevor Lawrence, let's see, that one's at home. You have Matt Stafford coming back from injury. I would look maybe even that one against Seattle. Let's see. Baker Mayfield, that one might be tough, but he's been playing decent. Jordan Love goes up against the Chargers. Yeah, for me, you know what?
It's pretty
maybe
sparse.
O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell might be a throw, especially against Miami. So, but yeah, I guess you're forced to roll out Lawrence or Justin Fields here in that tough position there.
I'm really curious, because I'm looking at the free agent quarterbacks just like you. How do you feel about Russell Wilson? That's your boy.
Nope.
Going up against Minnesota.
Nope.
No, you're not feeling it?
He's efficient, and the reason why he's efficient is because Sean Payton, to his credit, Russell Wilson has not complained about cooking or anything else. He's bought into Sean Payton. He said at the beginning of the season, whatever you need to do to fix me, do it. Whatever we need to do to win, do it. And Sean Payton, you see his philosophy is a run through Javonte Williams, through Jaleel McLaughlin. So they are pretty much running it. You're going to see run, and then hopefully they get that third down conversion for another first down. But that's pretty much the scheme. And they had a couple lucky breaks, and they ended up beating KC and Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, I only bring him up because he's got quite a few passing touchdowns this season. And then also he seems to be pretty consistent in terms of being a safe like 15 to 18 points per game. So I mean, if you're looking for something safe and consistent, there's that.
You never want to play safe in fantasy. You're always playing for the win, so at that point I would go ceiling play. Trevor Lawrence has a higher ceiling, Justin Fields has a higher ceiling, so you're always playing for the ceiling here.
Yeah, true. Look who else. Okay, so kind of moved around off of Njoku. How did you feel about Njoku?
So Njoku with their rookie, because the Cleveland Browns basically said that they're not starting PJ Walker. They're going to go with their rookie Dorian Thompson. So at that point, from the eye test, from what we saw, it's almost to the point where fantasy analysts are saying, can you even start any of these pass catchers? So even at this point, even Amari Cooper is do you start him? If it's a tough matchup like a Baltimore or a San Fran, you're not even starting them. So Pittsburgh's a little bit better, but they still have a pass rush.
Yeah, I mean, the one game that he did play in week 4 up against Baltimore, it was a rough defense to play against. He had 36 passing attempts, 19 completions for 121 yards. I mean, not the greatest, but again, that was, like I was saying before, like he didn't practice with the ones going into that week. He was basically named the starter the day of, or like the night before. So he had no practice, nothing, no prep, anything going into a tough matchup. So I mean, going up against Pittsburgh this week, it's possible, especially seeing he's named the starter early. He's gonna get all the practice reps with the starters. Going up against Pittsburgh, not the toughest of defenses, but they're still pretty stout. It could be interesting. But yeah, I agree. Looking at the rest of the free agent tight ends, the other one that I had suggested for Johnson to pick up was Luke Musgrave. It's a pretty decent matchup here up against the Chargers. They give up a good amount of points to the tight ends, but I don't feel comfortable with Jordan Love. How do you feel about Luke Musgrave?
That's fine too. I mean, at this point, it's a dart end. Yeah, it's a dart throw for a touchdown. So unless you have one of the top guys, like in Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, it's a touchdown dart throw. So wouldn't harp on this too much else. Yeah, it's just a dart throw, man.
So we were talking about the Jets and the Buffaloes, the Bills game. I think Garrett Wilson, assuming he's gonna get the same amount of targets and Zach Wilson can throw a little bit more accurate, I think he'll be fine. I think he's gonna get your 10 to 15 points that he's been pretty consistent with this year. Then DeAndre Hopkins, I'm kind of watching him just to see how Will Levis pans out. The past 2 games with Will Levis, Will Levis should have been able to air it out, but it didn't really pan out that way. Up against Jacksonville, a little bit tougher of a defense this week. What do you think?
I have no idea, man. At this point, they typically like to run the ball. Mike Vrabel is a run first coach. Against Jacksonville, they might have to, depending on if Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville could put up some points on these guys, then they will be coming from behind. Let's see. What was the point total for that game? You see the over?
Jacksonville.
I'm assuming it's probably going to be like a 45, 46, if that.
40.
Holy.
Yeah, it's low.
Yeah. Good luck.
They implied this.
Yeah. I mean, probably throw and lock it then. But
The implied is 16.75.
yeah, no,
Low
not
scoring
good.
game.
So let's move down here really quick. Just Chris Godwin going up against San Fran. He's a number 2 option over here, maybe even a number 3 at this point. You have Mike Evans and then Rashad White's been getting usage. So against San Fran, that's going to be kind of scary there. It'll be interesting to see how Baker Mayfield looks against a really tough defense like this. It's probably going to be their toughest defense this year.
Yeah, that pass rush is before at the trade deadline when they traded for Chase Young. I mean, Chase Young, he's been known to kind of be on and off the field with injuries. But I mean, he's been playing this year, and they got Nick Bosa, Chase Young playing the edge on both sides. That's a ridiculous pass rush.
So, and then one last thing I will add here is Tank Dell for Houston. We'll see how Nico Collins does. He said that he's going to be playing. He was limited today, but I think was he limited or DMP?
Nico
he said
Collins.
He was confident. Yeah, he said he was confident that he was going to play, but
limited today.
Limited, so he'll probably end up playing. Damian Pierce didn't practice today. He's probably not going to play. Rumor is high ankle sprain, so we'll see. It'll probably be a dart throw between Noah Brown. Look for that if Noah Brown doesn't. He popped up on the injury report today with a knee injury. So if it's Nico Collins and Tank Dell, just the way Tank Dell's been on a heater lately, and because of the young legs versus Nico Collins, look for Tank Dell now to be number 1 there in Houston.
He's looking really good too.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move over here to your team. You've got CJ Stroud, Stephon Diggs, Zay Flowers, Jerome Ford, Darrell Henderson, Trey McBride, Noah Brown, and Pacheco. So speaking of Tank Dell and the Houston Texans, you've got Noah Brown over here. He missed today's practice with a knee injury. Assuming he's healthy though playing, and let's say Nico Collins is out, do you think he's going to have just the same amount of efficiency as he had last week?
Assuming Noah Brown is healthy and Nico Collins is out, yeah, definitely look to see either Noah Brown or Tank Dell compete here to see. And the way CJ Stroud has been playing, and this is again in a dome against a good matchup.
Yeah.
Hopefully Arizona could put up points with the way Kyler Murray looked in his game. You know, coming back, he looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
this could be.
Speaking of CJ Stroud, you were talking about earlier playing your upside. You're starting CJ Stroud. You also have Josh Allen, who you're currently benching. I think that's a smart decision here. You've got CJ Stroud up against Arizona in a dome. And then you've got Josh Allen, who as of late has not been playing well. I think in the last game he had 2 or 3 interceptions. He had a lost fumble, playing in a possible rain or snow game up against the Jets' tough defense.
Yeah, so I'm definitely playing the ceiling here, but this is a little bit safer here. So this one of those tough decisions where you're gonna have to live with the consequences. But the first interception there with Josh Allen he just threw a heater, like an absolute dart to Gabe Davis there, and Gabe Davis just let it slip out of his hands. So
I was gonna say, that was the one
really
that pretty much bounced up in the air, right?
Yeah. So anytime you see a tip ball, it's pretty much an interception. So we'll see. I'm going back and forth, and if I see the weather, or if I get analysts saying something else that can convince me. But at this point, something like even Stephon Diggs here going up against Sauce Gardner. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely interesting start there. So we were talking about Cleveland offense here with DTR starting. Rome Ford, how do you feel about his start? Do you think it's pretty much going to go his way now? Like he's pretty much going to run the ball all day?
I don't know about all day. I know they still like him. They still view him as the number one.
Right.
Kareem Hunt had 2 of the red zone looks last week, and he scored a touchdown there. So I was kind of bummed about that. But Jerome Ford's usage is good. When they go into the 2-minute drill, you think it would be Kareem Hunt. That's the way they use him again, even with when Nick Chubb was healthy. But for whatever reason, Cleveland really loves Jerome Ford. So he gets the 2-minute drills. He gets the fourth quarter come from behind. So he's getting all the work. He looks good, especially coming from that, what was it, the low grade high ankle sprain, whatever that was.
Yeah.
But he's several weeks removed from that, and he looks decent. So he just needs the red zone looks. Needs to get some of that back, and then his ceiling will be a lot better.
Okay, so you've also got Darrell Henderson in this game. The interesting start here. Because you know me, I'm a Seattle fan. Anytime I've seen a Seattle Los Angeles Rams game, for me it's always felt more on the slower side. So I think like in terms of like you starting Henderson, Johnson starting Ken Walker, even though the Rams are pretty tough up against the run, I mean, I feel like I've always seen these games be pretty low scoring and end up pretty much being a run game back and forth for both offenses. How do you feel about your Henderson start here?
I mean, not the greatest. You look at the rest of my team, I got 2 dudes on bye, and then 2 guys injured on IR. So pretty much my team's kind of limping through right now. It's a good thing I got lucky in the beginning of the season, because right now I'm probably going to go 50, go 500% the rest of the way, if that. So we'll see.
Well, I will say the one other good thing that you have on this piece here is Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, he's got a tough matchup up against Philadelphia, but Pacheco does get some targets here, and I think he could get some pretty decent usage coming out of the bye in the passing game. I think.
We'll see. I think he had one target last game.
That was last game for sure. His targets have been kind of middling, but I think if Kansas City is smart, they'll try and utilize him more as well in the pass catching game.
We'll see. I don't have that much faith in Andy Reid in terms of the run, but took them 3 quarters in Germany to figure out maybe you should kind of kill clock.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be it for this week 11 preview. Good luck to you both, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.